You are listening to the decision reel.
Hey, welcome to the Decision Reel Movie Review Podcast, where we review movies of today and yesterday. I don't know why we're already laughing. Is it because you're sitting there proper?
Yes.
We need to be proper? Everybody proper?
I'm
Is
always,
that the thing?
I'm always leaning in like this.
You are, yes.
To fill the hole.
It's always because I don't know.
I do
I'm
the
used to
same
sitting
thing
like
though.
this,
I
I'm a
lean
bigger guy.
forward.
I mean, you do, however you want to sit in these seats.
Is it like this? Tara,
Is that
how
how
they
you
sing?
So you can't see in there.
Anyways, this is on the. We can see ourselves on a video.
Right,
Anyone
if
that
you
just
want to,
listening.
yeah, if you're listening on the spot for the podcast, you have no fucking idea what we're doing.
They can't see it. They're like, what the fuck?
You could go to our YouTube and watch us and see us doing weird hand holds and
We're all holding hands
Things.
in a triangle right
in
now.
a triangle because it's only us this week. It's Steve, Wally, Tara. Josh is out. He had to party
He's bi-weekly.
bi-weekly.
Yep.
That's a good, yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Mm.
Right.
bi-weekly.
Mm.
Good.
So he was here last week.
Comma.
He said he was going to be here, but it's all good. This week, we're looking at a movie.
It's partially my fault though, because I rescheduled.
All
He
good.
probably would have been here Monday, right?
That's what he said.
Yeah. So it's my fault.
It's all
I'm,
good.
I'm needy one.
I'm needy.
It's true.
Speaking of needy, Wally, what'd you pick?
The Departed,
Ooh.
which, by the way, I didn't know why this movie was named that up until I watched it thinking about it.
You know,
And they were talking the dead people.
I never thought about it much either, right?
fuck?
The Departed. I never went to it until there's the part where they're at the funeral
They
in the
say
beginning and they
The
said The
Departed.
Departed.
Now.
And I was
Well,
like,
they don't say the departed. They say the departed.
Departed.
so speaking of, I think we need to do
Coupons.
this whole episode
I can't- I'm
in
not
a
as good at
There's
Boston
no way.
accent.
There's no way.
Get the car.
The quap.
The-
Are you quap?
That wasn't even
Quap.
that good.
In the
The
car.
the
The
car
car.
sounded
The car.
almost
The
like
car.
that sounds like British when you say.
Yeah, get in the car. Get in the. I can't do accents.
It's in the
very
boot. I don't know.
Yeah, but that's your
Canadian.
that's your normal.
That's your accent.
That's my normal accent. So I'm British.
No.
So
From a
do-
British
Does your
colony.
family
What are you talking about?
complain about you coming back home and having like an American accent? Are
So
they
it's-
like, yo?
What's really weird, and my wife has pointed this out, is when I cross the border and start talking to people back home,
It comes back.
it comes
Flows
back a little.
back.
Yeah,
I've seen
not.
that.
They still think I have an American accent, but it's different than what I sound like now. I kind of turn on,
It
the,
comes in a little bit.
right, the Canadian there comes out, and I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah,
like,
yeah.
Comes out.
oh shit, there, bud. Let's go for a
Hey,
rip
bud.
outside.
fucking flying.
Just everywhere. As soon as I get to the border,
Talking
and
about
they're just like citizenship. I'm like, fucking American.
So is Marky Mark's accent in this really bad or is it really good?
So his accent.
He's from Boston.
This
I
is his.
know.
No, this is his voice.
I definitely
So
think
this
he
is his
laid
normal-
into it. He
Yeah,
laid
it-
into it, but
According to the director, in the
He's-
fun facts later, this is the way he speaks, and they said, "Dude, your accent is so thick that we have to put fucking subtitles on this movie."
He had to overlay some of his.
Oh,
So
yeah.
this is one of the few movies that have been like a big name movie where I can tell they put some of the audio in after the fact.
Yeah,
Mm.
ADR in it.
And he had some of that in this movie that I could hear pretty well.
Yeah, there's a couple moments where you can tell that
to
as
change
like,
the story too. There's parts of it. That anyways, good.
well, you can tell that as the person's talking, and then they change the view to the person who's listening while that person's still talking.
They overdub
It's
it.
different.
Sometimes,
You're
yeah.
right. You can tell the cadence is different or the sound is a little
The
different.
reason, so that's perfect. That's where I first saw it when I noticed it was going on is when Leonardo DiCaprio was sitting in that same room with the captain and Marky Mark.
Okay, yeah.
And then it pointed to him, and you can clearly tell there was some dubbed shit by Marky Mark.
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Some more
Wahlberg.
insults thrown at
Yeah.
him for sure. Before the reels do fall off, though, check us out on our social media pages, which are where.
you good?
Well, what's happening here?
She's like shuffling. She's doing a lot of
I
shuffling.
told you I
She's-
was caffeinated.
She's giving me.
she's
She's like
she's
I'm
caffeinated.
caffeinated.
She got a coffee. You got
juking
coffee?
ghosts over here.
No,
or
I
some
had
shit.
a tea, but yeah, same. Hot. It was a
what
hot
kind of
tea.
Hot.
Okay.
So
Hot
it's a
tea.
brand that I buy. It's actually the brand is called Zest Tea. So like zesty.
Oh, wow.
But it's
name first, product later.
it's supposed to be the equivalent of like a large cup of coffee in like one tea bag. is the amount of caffeine
Is that
and,
is that a thing that people like?
extra caffeine.
Yes.
When I'm not drinking anything that has caffeine in it, yes.
Okay. I'm
Since
not a
doing,
big coffee drinker.
I'm doing mainly
guess tea
water
has caffeine,
right now.
so
So I've reincorporated my hot teas that I used to drink in the morning
She's baselining water.
and get my
That's
daily
it.
caffeine.
Do you have headaches?
I did yesterday. That's why I had the tea today.
Not the coffee, the tea.
I don't.
But
do
did you have
coffee.
water?
Huh?
Did you have water yesterday?
Yeah, I did.
In her
Okay.
coffee. It's
But
a
I'm
coffee
used to
water.
first go-to.
having. But I'm also used to having like sweet tea or soda almost every day. So I went from that to
Speaking of teas,
not zero caffeine
we're drinking the teas all
Nice,
goddamn
just-
day.
water.
Anyways, what I was saying is our social media pages at The Decision Reel. You can find us Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We do have a TikTok. We haven't put anything on it in a while. I think we're going to
We
get
have a
back to.
TikTok?
We have a TikTok.
I don't know.
I just go online when I
I don't
post
have
it.
one
Yeah, I
either. I
don't
got
have
rid
it
of mine.
either. Yeah, they're
I
all
had
spying
one.
on you.
I had to get rid of all that shit since I worked for the
right.
government.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never downloaded
So I
it.
had to go and figure out how to like get rid of it
But
for
they
everybody,
definitely-
so no one
that's-
could use it.
That's true
Right.
though. They're definitely like
Spying on you.
big on advising us not to have TikTok on our phones.
I basically the whole space I did, I had to go in and make it so no one could download it.
I
or
love the
look at it
people-
or read it.
Yeah, I love the people
But it's
like,
all over YouTube. And
I
It's
got
shit,
true,
I
too,
got
so it's
nothing to
like-
hide. I don't care if they look at my data. It's like you're missing the
It's
point,
not- yeah.
guy. Missing the point. The plot of the movie we're looking at, which is The Departed,
Mhm.
an undercover co-op and a mole and the police attempt to
The co-op.
identify each other while infiltrating an Irish gang in South Boston.
Boston.
Was that all
Boston.
Dropkick Murphys the whole time?
No, it's Boston.
In
The
trailer,
yeah.
probably.
Every time it's just an Irish.
There's a lot of
yeah, I lost my leg. Yeah,
That's
mean-
one. I actually made it a. I wanted to make a point of this. The long intro of this movie before the title comes up, and how it fades in
to
the
song.
Dropkick. Yeah, that song right before it comes up and says "The Departed."
I like movies where you do have a title card, but I also like a movie like this where you're like, oh,
It's
I guess
very
there's no title card. Oh shit, we're all
There's
right.
one.
Yeah, I was like, I like it, and I'm gonna look. This is gonna come back to something that me and Wally are is dear to our hearts: a video game. The best title card of any video game is what, Walter?
Are you talking about Metal Gear?
Metal Gear Solid 1.
Yeah. Up
When-
to the elevator shaft.
Yeah, huh? Because you play
100%.
what 30 minutes? Well, maybe not 30 minutes, depending on how you play it, right?
Oh, your boy's in that in like under. I think it's like 6 minutes. I've timed myself.
Probably like
You have to wait for the elevator to come down, but it's about 6 minutes.
True. So even if, but doing all that before going up that elevator shaft and then getting that title card when he's,
Yeah.
taking his scuba gear off and then it's like Metal Gear Solid. You're like, oh,
perfect.
Yeah. So I am akin. Yeah, exactly. I'm akin to the late title card. I like it. It sets the stakes. It sets the feeling of said movie, and I think it does pretty good justice here too.
You know why you're here. You know what you're watching.
Exactly. The
Yeah.
Departed.
I mean, it really
What-
does though. The whole intro is really getting you into the development. Like
Yeah,
it
yeah,
spends
yeah.
the whole introducing all of the characters and everything before the title even comes up,
Right, and I like it.
and getting not only introducing them but getting them into their roles before.
Sometimes
Like he's
you,
in jail before they've already got him in his new life before the title comes up.
Well, it's almost like it's the prequel to the movie. And
Yeah.
the movie starts
Yeah.
when the title card
That's just
comes
the
up.
background,
Exactly.
yeah.
But you need to know these things, or else that doesn't make sense.
Mhm.
but a good. They don't let you figure it all out in the little prequel part. It's kind
True.
of like you watch
Mhm.
that and you're like, where is this movie actually going?
True.
So,
I thought there could have been a cool thing where you see the rat, if you will, as a kid, and you don't know
which one of them
which
it is.
one it is, right?
Mhm.
And I feel like they're trying to do that.
Yeah.
With me knowing, obviously, watching this the second time, the first time I watched this was probably when it was released. Obviously, so I'm not quite sure if that's what the intention was, but that's what I wanted the intention of the movie to be. Is
Sure.
like you just don't know who actually it is. So, yeah,
So good.
yes. Where to watch this guy? This is our first movie that is on 2 subscription services
know.
at a time:
Big boy movie.
Netflix and Max to rent, Google Play, Amazon, Apple TV, and Vudu.
I believe it was at the top 15 and upvoted too, like in the platform of Netflix.
Oh, so it's like
It's a big boy one. You
Oh,
know, it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
most liked.
Yeah,
You ever
yeah,
see
yeah,
those, those tags
I
on
think
it?
when I was done watching it too, it says that it leaves Netflix like July 1st or
no,
something.
I watched it on Max, so
Yeah. It comes in periodically on Netflix.
But
So
I thought it was funny that we were catching it like a week before it's gone.
welcome.
is
On
always
Netflix, at least.
right.
It's funny because we all have the subscription. We didn't have to pay any extra money this time, but we had to pay a lot of
Yeah.
extra money for these little B flicks flopping
the
around
little
everywhere.
random
you know,
ones.
Ironic.
Well, I get it too, right? Depending on the B
Mhm.
flick, like we talked about last week, what was it, almost $5 for that movie? Sorry, you
Yeah.
weren't here for it. But again, no one's watching
So
it.
I saved $5. Whatever.
I mean, I have it on DVD. I'll fucking let you borrow.
It's on my Plex.
Right, it's on my Plex too. Shit, I might have it on VHS. Who knows? But those type movies for sure. Like, I get why they're going to be a little bit more money, but also that might make somebody be like, "Wow, it's probably shitty." I would pay 99 cents, but not fucking $4.99.
$4.99.
Yeah,
Right.
that's up in the category of subscription sellers.
Yeah.
You know?
Touche. Written by William Monahan. This was actually based on a 2002 Hong Kong action thriller named Internal Affairs.
A little bit more appropriate,
Correct.
but not as like
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because
mysterious.
here's the thing: if you call the movie Internal Affairs, you already know what the plot is. The
Do you think-
Departed.
I was about to say, do you think they could have had a title that didn't have the letter A in it? Like odded.
I get what you're saying. No, not for this. I mean,
No,
do you think they sat there
Like
and
to
like,
avoid the Boston accent.
no, it's got to be
For
Boston.
just
yeah.
the
Yeah,
title.
Boston. Yeah, I mean, probably
Boston.
they could have called it Boston bag. I don't know
I was
something.
say party.
The Boston Party.
Party. I'm terrible.
Or
at
just call the
accents.
movie,
so
I'm not a
bad at
co-op.
accents.
Have you seen that commercial that's because John Krasinski's from Boston too?
Sure.
That commercial where it's him and I don't know if it's Mark or someone else, another Boston actor. And it's about that. I think it was like
Johnny Wahlberg.
a Honda or something that parked itself.
Mhm.
And
Say
so
hi to
it
your
was
mother
all
for
these
me.
people like, oh, the car's parking itself. Like that. Like it's
Oh,
just
Is
all
that
them going.
Dennis Leary, wasn't it? No, it's not Dennis
No,
Leary.
I
It was
know-
definitely
I
John
know
exactly
Krasinski,
what you're
that one
talking
lady
about,
who was
too.
on like SNL for a long time, and another guy, and I can't remember. I don't think it was Marky Mark, but it was another Boston.
I've seen this. I know exactly
It might
what you're
be
talking
Andy
about.
Samberg
Yeah, I know
as Mark
exactly-
that.
Wahlberg. Say hi to your mother for me.
That would make sense.
Yeah. This is directed by who?
That I don't know actually.
Seriously?
Scorsese,
Yeah, I'm
isn't
saying-
it?
I'm
Martin
serious.
Scorsese.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I don't.
God, you picked it.
I don't care.
I don't.
I don't care. Look,
I've never
there-
been one to hunt for directors.
I mean,
I've
depending, like a Christopher Nolan, there's something to be said about. I will watch a movie by the director. Ridley Scott is somebody that, if it's directed by him, depending on the movie, I'll be like, oh yeah, well I got to see it. Or
I've just never. It's not like I have anything against it. It's never been like oh, this guy directs this, so I should watch it, or this guy directs it, so I shouldn't watch it.
Okay,
I've always just kind of been like, oh, that movie looks cool.
I got you.
I am the same way. I don't watch
So I don't
movies
really
based
know.
off of such and such wrote it or directed it, but I did know that this was
Sure, but you're watching a movie based
Scorsese.
on who's in it, though,
Yeah.
right? Like if you, how
yeah,
would I
actors
say?
and stuff.
Yeah, if there's an actor like Ryan,
Mhm.
you're gonna be watching it
Mhm.
9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
Tell me a movie that he's in that
I looked at it and went, no. Oh,
I'm also
Buried.
not. You know what? I'm
you've
not,
never seen that. You should watch
I
it.
think I did eventually, but I did put it because I was like, no, not for me.
I'm also not like an own actors in this. I'll watch this. I've never been that person either.
Oh.
It's always a plot. I think for me, and I also get sold on a trailer. If
Yeah,
I see
yeah.
a trailer that's just not fucking industrialized and looks dope and the concept is cool as fuck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm with you. So there's a director. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he did.
Chris Evans, that's the other Boston person that's in the commercial.
Oh,
Captain America.
oh,
They're standing there
Yeah.
and they're talking about it. And it's a Hyundai, not Honda.
okay.
And it's about smallpox.
Smart Park.
Smallpox.
Anyways, the guy that did Chappie and why can't I think of the biggest fucking movie he
Hackman,
did?
Gene. Well, no, not
I'm thinking
Gene,
of the
Hugh.
director.
Oh.
What's the fucking Prunes? The Prunes? What the fuck is that
Oh
movie?
God damn it!
I can see it. I can't remember. it. District 9.
Nine.
District. Yeah.
Yeah. All the movies
Finish
that
my
guy's
brain for
made.
me.
Yeah. All the movies that guy's made has been really good. Matt Damon's in one too. Elysium.
What was that one that he did? I don't know if he wrote it, but it was like a POV, like it was like a first person.
Hardcore Henry.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
fucking
Okay.
amazing.
Story time. Because we got to.
It's
So
so
that
good.
that movie comes out, and of course it's very video game oriented and whatnot.
What is it called? A
Hardcore Henry.
Henry.
It's an all POV movie, basically meaning you're seeing everything out
You're
of this
pretty much
guy's
like
face.
you're the camera, but it's a person. So it's
Right.
like
So I want to say this was around my birthday or your
It wa-
birthday or
it-
something.
Wait, so what is that? What do they call that?
This was
First
probably
person?
like
Yeah.
6 years ago. 5
First
Oh,
years
yeah,
ago.
person
yeah,
view?
It was a hot
Like in a
mess.
video game.
Yeah, so I was
Yeah.
working, and Wally goes, "Yo, you want to see this movie? It just came
FPS,
out."
First person shooter.
And I was like, "Yeah, fuck it, let's go see this movie." And where I worked was kind of close to the Wildwood movie theater.
Okay.
This was what 1:00 in the afternoon. I said, "Fuck it," I left work. We went and watched this movie.
This was in the movie theater?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It was a big release. So me and
Not
Wally go and watch this
heard of
movie.
this.
We're the only people there. Again, 1:00 at like a Wednesday,
Yeah, daytime,
and
like weekday.
we're sitting. We're
Well,
like,
matinee.
Yeah.
sure,
we went on
whatever.
a dude lunch
A little
date, pretty much.
manly,
Little ma-
manly matinee.
Oh yeah, there's no shame in my game.
the funny part though is during the movie, we're just, hey, why don't you go sit all the way in the front corner? I'll sit all the way in the back corner. And then we started moving around, yelling at each other during the movie. It was a great time. It was fun. I think we brought some minis into maybe something. I
Maybe it
can't-
might have been.
I can't remember.
Little young, little wild.
Yeah, yeah. It
Yeah.
was
A
just
manly
fun time.
matinee with minis.
Yeah.
See
We were just
what you
being a
did
couple.
there.
We're just a couple dipshits.
Being a couple
Having fun.
bros.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, at this point, I think I went to the movies with Wally more than my own wife.
It sounds that
actually.
way,
I don't think
honestly.
I don't think I've been to movies with anyone else more than I've been to movies with you, buddy.
Look at us.
Adorable.
Shut up. This movie is rated Ah.
God damn it. AWWW.
For strong, brutal violence, pervasive language, some strong sexual content, and drug material.
Oh yeah, fucking Nicholson and that shit he leaves his mouth is
Yeah.
hilarious.
There's one part when he gets spoilers. When he
Sure.
gets shot and he's bleeding from the mouth.
Oh yeah.
He looks just like the Joker.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
And I was like, I
It's
kind of want
eerie.
him as
Kinda
the
eerie,
old
though.
Joker. Like I want to see him back. Obviously, past his due now.
Yeah.
He's probably too
How
old.
old
but-
is he?
He just had a baby. Can we talk about
No,
that?
that's
no, that was
Pacino.
Yeah.
I thought his girlfriend's pregnant
Pacino.
too.
Maybe, I don't know.
Who knows?
Hoo-ah!
I could see it. I definitely could see it.
Oh yeah, I mean they're just. I'm not gonna say that. Blasting walls. You know? I mean, let's be real. It's probably the same character in this
I
movie. He's
thought it
playing
was
himself.
him.
Yeah, I feel like he might be like the same. Who's that guy that got busted for fondling people on set?
Oh no, it wasn't him. Oh, it was De Niro.
Spacey. I feel like he's another.
It was
Yeah.
De Niro. De
Yeah, that's-
Niro just
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what he was saying.
he
That's
said
what he's trying-
Pacino. No, there's two. There were two. It was
It's just De Niro. He's the one that had a kid after 70. That's what everyone was.
wait. There's
yakking
another
on
one. I'm
about.
telling you.
Yeah,
there's
De
another
Niro.
one.
Oh no, it was Pacino that just had one with a girl that was like 25 or some shit.
What was I just saying? Fuck.
Sorry.
Oh no, you're fine.
Speaking of people, this movie is starring Leonardo DiCaprio as Billy, Matt Damon as Colin, Jack Nicholson as Costello, Mark Wahlberg, say howdy mother for me, as Dignam, Martin Sheen as Queenum. Hold on, what do we got?
83 Pacino is
Shoo!
having
Hoo-ah.
his first child with girlfriend 29.
Hoo-ah!
But I'm pretty sure De Niro was the other one.
Well, Pacino will come around in the fun facts for this one. We also got Vera Farmiga as Madeline, don't remember.
Yeah. in
Alec
April.
Baldwin is Ellerby, Ray Weinstein is Mr. French, and James Badge Dale is Barrington.
This movie's so good.
There's a lot more people, but those are the main peoples. The main.
It is a good movie.
The main.
It's so lengthy, but it's like a good length.
So I watched this movie over 3 days.
Did you? Things kept coming up, or
Well, so
I watched it today while patching and shit
that's fine.
at the old
Yeah.
job.
I watched
so,
it yesterday.
Yeah, depending on the weeks, I'm sort of busy, but I like to watch what we're gonna do during my lunch breaks at work. Right,
Mhm.
I work from home, so I have the ability to put the lights down, do whatever. Watching
Same,
the
same.
Yeah,
Light
right.
a candle.
So depending
Lavender
on said
scented
movie, yeah, I mean,
cocoa butter.
especially if my wife is not going to want to watch it, I'm not going to take time away from what we watch for her to. I don't want to watch The Departed, like
Mhm.
Do you think that'd be a movie she'd like?
she's definitely seen it, so she'd probably be like, I don't want to watch it again.
Gotcha.
And I get it. It's a lengthy movie. It's not. You could say not a lot happens in this, but a lot happens in this. Like it's a very not by the numbers, but just dialogue heavy type movie, right? There's
Sure.
a couple scenes that some stuff happens. Somebody gets thrown off a building. Do you think if you get thrown off a building, blood would go? I don't.
I don't know.
I
don't
actually
think so.
I looked it up
Did
today.
It mists.
Yeah, what happens? What a common thing it's the nose.
Oh.
It comes out the nose.
You
which
sneeze
sounds
it.
fucking,
You
which
sneeze it.
sounds fucking gross.
We got to think. Okay,
Because
you're losing air in the lungs, right? And you're bleeding.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's those orifices
Nose
on
and
the
mouth,
face.
I think.
Because that was the
Probably
one.
the anus, but you can't
That was
because
the
it's
one.
covered.
We do the thing where like we overanalyze movies, and I've watched this enough times where I was like, I'll just overanalyze
Sure.
it. So I looked that shit up on my phone. That's a common thing. Depends on the height, obviously, but
Obviously, yeah.
But the way he was laying and the way the blood came flying out, I think it
That
was
would
a
make
high
sense.
attention to detail.
But I
and
do
not for
feel
me
like-
to look up and be like, oh,
Right.
okay.
Even in some of like the medical shows and stuff that I've watched, though, even when they've been like on the table or like they have a bleed somewhere in their body, it will just come out,
Sure.
start coming out of their nose and their mouth, and they're like, "Oh, there's internal bleeding." So I guess, I mean,
Where else is
obviously,
it gonna come
yeah,
out?
where's it going to come out of? If there's not a tear or a
Straight hole
wound
somewhere,
or
yeah.
something, it's got to come out somewhere.
There's only a couple places it can come out, and one of them you're not going to be looking at on TV. Let's just
I fucking hit the ground and just straight out the wiener.
I mean,
Was that a
maybe
spit tune?
it was. It was. But again, it could happen. We don't know. We're not looking at it.
No.
We need to
could
do.
find out.
I need to watch more Grey's Anatomy.
Right. I need to know
So
these
just
things.
today in the episode I was
jeez.
watching, she started because I'm rewatching that show.
Of course you
Jesus.
are.
I don't
There's
know
a
why
lot.
I do
There's
that
a
to
lot.
myself. It's so it's so like it's bad.
How could you even rewatch that show? Isn't it on like season 27?
It's on Netflix and it's on
Godspeed.
season like 18 or something. But
Right.
I never go past season 16 because it's
How
just
long
not.
does that take you to get there?
I'm on season 12 right now.
So they're
Is that where
45-minute
what's-his-face
shows.
dies?
McDreamy.
End of season 11. It
McDreamy.
just
okay.
happened.
Okay.
Like 4 episodes ago. It was very traumatic.
Does he get stabbed in the face?
I think it's a bus or a
attack?
car accident.
Car
or something
accident.
Just
like
a
that.
Car accident.
Bussing.
Yeah.
Alright.
Whap.
It's a car accident, but it's the way that they did it. It's not
Yeah.
like he just got in a car accident and was dead. Like it was the way that they did it. But I am rewatching that show, and just today, one of the episodes I had on that happened. Like all of a sudden, blood would like they were trying to fix her, and blood started coming out of her nose and mouth, and they were like, bleeding. She had a bleed something burst or something, and so it would start coming out of her face.
Lupus.
I think it's a little different, Steve.
Sorry, I used to watch House all the time, and it was never lupus. And then the one episode it was lupus.
Steve, like in every episode, it's lupus.
Well, in like the same episode, they also had to decide which twin would live of babies,
so what-
newborn babies.
So which one lived? The ugly one, right?
They were brand new babies, but they both had liver issues, and only the dad was a match, so only one of them would be able to get a liver that day,
Drama.
liver transplant that
They
day.
can chop that liver in half and give him
They
one.
said they couldn't.
Bullshit. That baby's like 1/3 the size of that man. It'd be
You
fine.
should- I watched a House episode, Steve.
House.
I've only seen like a couple, but there was one where this lady was I don't know if she had a split personality or if she was doing it in her sleep, but she was having sex with people and she ended up with like problems. Like she'd
Didn't
go
know
in.
where it was coming from.
And
I
yeah,
don't
she's like,
remember.
no, I've been abstinent, and she was humping
Yeah,
often,
she was
but not while
humping.
she was in her like conscious.
Right,
brain.
yeah.
And he was like, no, you're fucking, you're definitely
You're
doing it.
fucking. You fuck.
House was a great show. The
This
first,
guy
I would say, the
fucks.
first 4 seasons for sure are definitely worth a watch, and then it kind of goes off the deep end. But also, what can you do that's not the same?
I think you got like 4 seasons on top, like max for a lot of shows, man.
Yeah, because again,
Is
what
how
can
long
you
did that
do
go
to
on
keep?
for?
I think it was
I don't
8
know.
seasons. What can you do to keep people interested? Right, that you can't just keep doing the same thing
Well,
or
that's
it gets
why
stale.
I stopped with Grey's. Like it once a lot of the main people were off, like
Sure.
from the original, I
Sure.
was like, I committed for a long time.
I committed.
I committed for a long time. And then there was one character specifically that the way his exit was, you knew he was leaving. Like it came out in like
What
the
color was his skin?
white.
There's the sweetest guy on the TV show.
I just wanted to see how
No.
it was.
Oh,
what
okay.
they
No,
were doing.
actually, he started off like the biggest prick on the show. But
Oh,
He
they
had a good character
so
arc.
yes, he
Yeah.
had such good development, and then the way that they did his exit, it's like
Oh.
they undid everything they did, and it.
Oh.
Sure,
I
I
got
gotcha.
mad, and I was like, I'm done.
So he was.
I'm
so
not
he
doing
was
it
basically
anymore.
like, never mind.
I was like,
I'm a
I
dick.
would rather you have killed him
Oh.
than done what you did.
Did he
I know
rape
who you're
somebody?
talking about.
No, he had developed. Okay, long story short, he had gotten
Steve's
together
in.
with
We're
this,
here.
Steve
with
sold.
this new girl. With this new girl,
never
they
gonna
were
watch that shit.
married. All this
Nah.
stuff. He ends up leaving for his old girlfriend from like the 4th season.
Maybe she
that
did something cool with her
they
tongue.
were
You don't
awful
know.
together. She writes in this letter saying, "Hey, cause they had to freeze his eggs because she had cancer. She was like, I ended up using your
Freeze
eggs.
her
You have 2 kids who are like 8 now, and he leaves the new wife and just goes to live with this ex-wife of his. Is the dumbest shit. It's so
Pretty
stupid.
stupid, but
It was so stupid.
probably happens.
I'm gonna freeze your eggs.
But
and
it
I'm gonna
hit,
use
it hit
them.
literally like
How
we're
can
talking
you use
like
somebody else's eggs?
we're
You
talking
gotta
like
sign off on that shit.
back. Well, he had because she had cancer, so they froze his eggs, signed off on it.
Oh, so she died of cancer.
She didn't die. That's what I'm saying.
She made a full
but
recovery
because
and went,
he
I
had
have more eggs.
still, he
Sure.
had still done it, so his sperm was still sitting there.
The eggs might have
No,
cancer.
so not his eggs. Her eggs, his sperm. They had froze both of them.
Wait, men have eggs?
I got yarn
No,
right
his
now on like a
sperm.
board of like.
I know.
You're Charlie, like,
But that's
I
what
can
was-
explain it.
But that's what's so messed up. I mean, we're talking, he did this back in like season 5, and this is season 16. That's how they handle his exit. He leaves this new girl that he's been dating for like 8 seasons. They get married and everything, and he just leaves. And he doesn't even tell you, he writes her a letter. He doesn't even tell her.
Does it show him writing the letter?
No, it just shows her reading the letter.
Does he talk the letter? and
Yes,
then-
he narrates the letter.
Is it like very like, I'm sorry for leaving you.
Yes, this is just what I had to blah, blah, blah. It's just the dumbest,
Her
the way
eggs
that
were
they
better.
had his character
And then she did this
all
thing
of his
where she like
connections
turned
with all
around
of the people.
well. Yeah,
You know
sorry.
what?
Yeah.
Don't ask me if you don't want me to tell you.
It's fine. It's fine. Getting back to the movie at hand, the runtime on the Departed, 151 minutes, like we talked about, a little long, but also
Where
engaging.
She turned around and she just grabbed and just
She grabbed her own ankles.
I really
and
wanted you to finish whatever you were saying, and you did.
Have you ever seen The Exorcist? Okay, so she does this thing. Just the tip, though. Like it's
Don't be upset, Tara. It's okay. He's just.
all about making fun talks and things.
I got really invested in what you asked me, and you
I listened.
asked
I
me.
I listened, and I just made it my own.
That
story.
was something that really affected me.
Steve was like, "Well, maybe the other girl just had a little extra."
You could, you know, he
You don't
obviously
know.
went back for some reason, or the writers went, "Fuck this guy, we're just gonna."
Douche.
Right.
That I feel like that is what it felt like.
Sure,
Though
I'm sure
it's
that
like
happens often.
it's like his exit was out, so instead of. But like other people's exits made so much more sense. You know what I
Well,
mean? This
maybe
one,
there wasn't any bad. Maybe there was no drama on set.
I feel like this one was so like
That's what I'm saying.
like
Like,
you
that
said.
can
Maybe it
happen.
was like, all right, we just have to figure out how to. Or maybe he was just so built into the show that they had to do it like that because they couldn't possibly close out everything that he was intertwined with on the show.
Only
I
some
don't know.
people know. Call him up.
I might have to.
Yeah, be like, hey,
I'm
I
sure
need
he's
to
on
know.
IG. I'll message him
Yeah.
on Instagram and
be like,
look,
did
my
you fuck this
God.
up, or did the writers do
I need
something?
to know
Right.
why they fucked you
Get it
over.
to
Did
on
the
this.
producers come
Where-
in?
Did you contribute to this
Tear the load
idea?
down.
Look? If you want to get deep into it, let's look at the OC for a second. Why was Marissa
God.
Cooper killed off?
Why are we still talking about these?
Well,
Shut the fuck up. This is pertaining to the story.
Marissa Cooper, though, that show was not the same without her, but also she was a disaster.
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
But
it
also-
made sense for
I
her
know
to,
a little bit
to
about
die.
everything,
Everything.
but I don't know anything about those C.
I'm gonna tell you this.
Started this.
Look, I'm gonna tell you this. If you watch the first episode and you get to the end of that episode and go, I kind of need to watch the next one. I guarantee you it will happen.
Listen, it's so
I
true.
guarantee
Kristen watched
you.
it. She watched it all the time.
But listen, while you're watching it, you're gonna go, "Why the fuck am I?" But then you won't be able to stop. It's
I-
so soap opera-y.
Like both of you, but I guarantee you, I'll turn that on and I'll turn it right off.
Then that's fine. If that happens, that happens. But if you make it to the through one episode, you're gonna want to keep watching.
We'll do it after we'll get done here,
All
and
right.
I'll give it the honest try.
I guarantee you, because I know you, Walter.
I'm not.
You're gonna
watch
get
that
to the
shit.
end of that episode and be like, because we're here, you'll be like, I ain't gonna watch it. But you're gonna go
Everyone-
home and be like,
every-
where can I watch fucking
Everybody
OC?
listening, you have to listen. You have to next week. You have to tune in.
We're gonna
'cause
talk
in,
about
in the very beginning,
We're gonna know.
we're gonna see
We're
if
gonna
I get addicted to. Was it Orange County? Is that what it is?
It's
It's
the
just the
OC, but
OC.
yeah, it's Orange
Oh, so
County.
yeah.
But so I watched it back when it was on, when I was in high school, or whatever that was when it was on.
California, here we go. Right back where we started from.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. I've seen some of these episodes.
We just
I'm
got
pretty sure.
demonetized. Sorry. That's how good my singing was. Yeah.
Anyways,
That was good.
that
Look
was
at you.
that wasn't bad.
Phantom Planet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, Rooney. Remember Rooney?
Rooney. Yeah.
Why are you talking like
Remember-
that now all of a sudden?
Rooney. Look, that show did a lot in that time. The first season of the OC, I think, is timeless. You can throw the rest out. They had a bunch of bands on that show that no one knew about.
They
And
did,
the
yeah.
minute they were
Mhm.
on, they're like, "Oh, this is
Well,
it."
especially when it got Olivia Wilde's on it for a little bit, and
Yep,
she's that
yep,
owner
yep,
of that manager of that bar. They had a lot of bands once that they brought that bar into the
There's
show.
a lot of people on the show that pop up and go, "Oh!" You're doing the
Mhm.
Leonardo DiCaprio, like pointing. Look, I'm telling you, if you want a time capsule to go yourself back to high school because they grow up the same time we grow up, they graduate in 2006. That's the shit.
Also,
But I was
Adam
never
Brody.
into those things
like,
that you guys are
but
into.
it's Adam Brody. You gotta love
Skateboarding?
Adam Brody,
No, no, no.
especially in this show.
Yeah, but
Indie bands,
let me tell you, people
being a
that
little bitch. I mean, that's all what
I'm
that
gonna
show was
school
about.
you guys a little bit on the,
School
the
Drinking
skate-
in
the
school.
skateboarding world.
Welcome to
People
the OC,
that
bitch.
see skateboarding like that are probably the most removed from the skateboarding community.
You'll see.
That if that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also,
I'm
Peter
actually
Gallagher is like the best dad I've ever seen on screen.
He's one
I'm
of the
kind
best
of
on that show.
an
period.
enigma because if you talk to a lot of my friends that like watch grind and stuff like,
Oh,
my
yeah.
skateboarding friends, they're like, "What the fuck is this?
It's
This is
amazing.
the dumbest shit
What
ever."
have they done to us?
Yeah, and I'm like, I like that
So,
movie. I
Adam
enjoy, it's
Brody-
like Brink. And
Adam
shit to
Brody
me.
is in Grind.
Yeah, I know. I'm aware. Yeah, yeah.
And
He's
he's
the
in
he's the
this.
main. He's as well.
Secondary.
He's
Secondary,
he's
yeah.
a comic fanatic in the show.
Bro, I'm
I
telling you.
know who you're talking about. You guys are trying to convince me. of
Old
this,
Okay,
but I'm,
all right,
Seth
all right,
Cohen.
but
all
I'm
right.
letting you, what I want to let you guys know is that kind of genre of TV and like that nostalgia. I didn't really like that. Like your guys, I can deal with
get what you're
American
saying.
Pie and stuff
Sure,
like
sure,
that.
sure.
I can watch it, but I'm not like invested like you two motherfuckers are. Like hands down.
I'm invested.
Yeah, you guys are. You're balls deep. You can't get out. I think she likes it. Yeah. And then he came in with the out cold, and I'm like, I'm outnumbered now at this point. Like I thought I was a sensible one at the
I will say,
Sensible.
so I watched the OC when it was on when we were in high school because it was basically at the same time period that we were living in,
Yep.
and
That's why I like it now.
I
like
will
said.
say I went back
like
and watched
nostalgia.
it when it was added to Hulu or something, and I went back and watched it during the lockdown, like during
COVID, yeah, yeah.
COVID.
Yeah.
And that's when I rewatched
You
it.
did
And
the same thing,
the
didn't you?
whole
You did the
time
same
I'm
thing.
watching it and I'm going, this is so fucking bad. Like there's so much of this that's bad. And I couldn't stop watching it. Even knowing as an adult, why did I like the show?
See,
I'm going, why
people
was I so into it? And then I couldn't stop again.
The Jersey Shore
pulled me
thing, I
right
couldn't
in.
do that. There's a few
Oh,
shows
that's
that people have.
different.
Hold in.
There's few
Okay.
things that like where people are like, "Oh, this is bad." You'll be into it after a little while. I did that with maybe like Joe Exotic.
Oh my
Besides
god.
that, usually when it's like bad,
Never
I'm
gonna
like, "Oh yeah, I
financially
can't."
recover from this.
I'm never gonna financially recover.
It-
All right, Departed. Runtime, 151 minutes, like we were talking about. A little long, but also it's not a bad long. It's not a,
you're still
What
in it
she
the whole
said.
time.
hey,
Also, that
baby. I don't feel the length of the movie watching it, right? Like, obviously, I watched it
feel the
over
girth of
3
the movie?
days. I feel the aroundness of it. I feel the whole,
The density.
you don't have
You
to
feel
hold
the,
your
do you
hands
Feel, you feel the density.
the way you
Feel the
hold
weight.
your hands. You just say it.
just, say, I no,
Look like
but
you're delivering a baby.
But no.
like a catcher.
and we got some forceps. No, I do think this movie is too long, but it makes sense for, just say it, the length of it.
Hey,
Right, like
Woo!
without it being so long, you can't have the
Ooh.
story to digest the way it does, or you can't have the story
trying
beats
so hard.
happen. I know, I'm trying to not make
Yeah,
it
you're good.
sexual. You can't have everything that happens the way it happens, and you can't sit there and think about things
The
as long.
speed of it can't be the speed of it without
Thank you.
the length.
I think it's one of the few movies that truly has two main characters. For the most
Well,
part.
that's the thing. Like, obviously,
I feel like it almost has
Leonardo.
more than that.
maybe,
We-
but I feel like the two kids and the two.
Oh, for sure.
Cops. How
Are
do
you a
say it?
co-op?
You
I'm a co-op.
There
Yeah,
has
no,
to be a W in there. Co-op.
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 No,
Yeah.
obviously,
Are you a cop?
Leo's the main character,
Yes.
but he's not billed as the main character
No.
in this movie or the,
Oh,
the,
really?
the leading actor. So when they came to Oscar season, he actually was not nominated for this movie.
Isn't that crazy?
The reason for it is he was
Wow.
nominated for another movie. I forget exactly what it was, and he did not want to take. Wow, that sounded
No.
Boston.
Not. He did
He
not
did
not
want to take.
away from Matt Damon or anybody else that was being nominated for Best Supporting Role, right? So he took his own L on that and just said, "All right, you guys do your thing."
Isn't it crazy how long it took for him to get a fucking Oscar.
Look, and that movie was great, but I think there's more notable roles.
Yeah, because what
that
was it?
he's
It was
been
the
in.
Covenant.
Not Covenant. Covenant.
Covenant.
I'm sounding
it starts
Boston
with
as
an
fuck.
R.
Revenant.
Revenant.
The Revenant. Yeah,
Yeah.
where he gets
I'm
the bear
telling you, his
attack.
brain is there. It's just not there. I don't
You need
understand
me to
why it
continue
works.
it.
Like it's always the first thought. It's like it,
Yeah,
but then I
like
just can't.
don't
finish
get
it.
me wrong, great. He was great, but yeah,
I
I agree.
think
I
it
think
was
there were more
the-
notable roles that he could have before that he should have gotten.
Yeah, I think it
the
was one
nod.
of the what are you getting up against in that time,
Mhm.
and we can't not give it to this. Yes, you were amazing. And then at the time when the Revenant came out, I was like, this is good. Your time's now.
Yeah.
It's
Here you
all
go.
political. Like, we got to
It
give
really
it's,
is.
it's
Yeah,
about
it's
time we
true.
give him one kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah. So, anyways, release date October 6th, 2006. Somebody say that
Oh,
in
yeah.
Boston for me.
October
I
6th,
can't. I'm the worst.
2006.
Sure. All right. That's it.
Don't look at me. I'm fucking driving.
No, I don't- I-
On the
Yeah.
mean streets of Boston.
Boston. Sure. Box office that box office that week. Number
It's
10.
not box office. It's
That
It would
actually,
be
I think
Bucks.
it's
It-
not as pronounced, but he was close.
I'll
it's
call
got-
Mark Wahlberg
Bulk.
up. How do you
no,
say
no,
this?
It's
Box.
the
How do you
O's.
pronounce Box.
Oh,
No,
Box.
it's you gotta
You say
pronounce
it
it
then,
like
Tara.
an AH.
Say the box office.
Box.
It's,
Say it. Say it
it's
with
the
Boston.
box office.
Yeah. You should
It's
say
the
it again.
box office.
back office.
It's AH. You gotta do the AH.
Back's office.
The
Like
box.
like coupons.
Go to the back.
Box.
Like coupons.
Bo-
How you
Coupons.
made
How'd
fun
you
of me
say
the
it?
other day.
Right,
Coupons.
Coupons. Hey,
Not
That's-
fully.
that's- I
Not
don't-
fully walking.
I'm getting there.
You can't go full walking.
It's crazy.
Coupons.
I'm just confused now.
Top 10 that week. Number 10. The Illusionist.
Foo Fighters.
Oh, is that what is isn't that
Ladies
with-
and
Walken.
gentlemen,
Christopher
Yeah.
Walken.
No. Isn't that
Foo Fighters.
Illusionist?
The Illusionist is with
what's his face, right?
the guy
Uh,
who plays mentally retarded in the fucking
Oh,
Score.
I thought it was Hugh Jackman. I'm thinking
American
That's the
History
Prestige.
X, Fight Club.
Prestige is Hugh Jackman.
That's what
Fight
okay,
Club.
yeah,
What's the guy's
you're
name?
right. Edward Norton.
Thank you, Edward Norton Jr.
I immediately
Jr.?
went to just
Just
Edward Norton.
What am I
think.
thinking? Who am I thinking?
No
Something
idea.
sure. Doesn't matter. Yeah, Illusionist. So the Illusionist came out in. There's a lot of these movies that we talked about before that I kind of want to do a separate series on, but we don't have time ever to do it. Is movies that come out at the same time that are about the same thing, like Dante's Peak and fucking Volcano, or like The
Illusionist,
Illusionist, The
Prestige.
Prestige. Yeah,
No strings attached.
But
Friends with benefits.
Friends with Benefits, right? Stuff like that.
Yep.
There's I put a list together of all these movies since like the 80s.
Oh, I just want to see the list.
Okay, I'll get it.
Even if we
Um,
don't talk about it, I just
yeah.
want to see it.
So
Talk.
we're gonna talk about
Talk.
it in a box.
Talk.
Yeah,
Talk.
I just there's like
So what is the orc? Because that is a thing.
the orc.
Yeah.
What's an orc?
Like my cousin Vinny. Is that Italian then?
That's Italian.
It's Italian
with
and
the,
like
the
Brooklyn.
girl she's talking about, the posse track girl,
It's
because she
more
does the
New-
or.
They're New
Yeah.
York.
Is that what it is? Okay.
New Yorkers.
That's New
Okay.
York.
Hey,
Yeah,
fuck
see,
you,
'cause-
bud.
New York.
No, fuck you. No, fuck you.
Oh.
Have a nice day.
I love that fucking
Orc.
movie. Imagine you're a deer.
What movie?
You're prancing along.
Oh,
You
yeah.
put your little deer lips down
cousin
to the
Vinny.
cool,
Oh,
clear
okay.
water. Then bam! A fucking bullet knocks off half your head. Your brain is laying in little bloody pieces. Now I ask you, would you give a fuck what kind of pants the son of a bitch you shot you was wearing?
Do you want
That was really good.
That was good.
That was
I
ridiculously good,
impressed.
actually.
I know that whole speech that she gives.
It's funny because I know every Tommy Boy speech. So we're same.
Also, the one she gives later when she's talking about her biological clock. She's like, my biological clock is ticking like this.
Is that what's her face from The Wrestler?
It's
or-
Marissa Tomei.
Yes, Marissa.
Mhm.
Tomei, yeah.
I
You
don't
know,
know why,
she-
but she's
she
pretty
got-
hot.
She got
Young her's
a
pretty hot.
It's funny
Uh,
the memes about Aunt May, and they're all like
Yeah.
old
Oh, yeah,
ass
yeah, yeah.
fucking ladies, and then Marissa Tomei, you're like, but she's hot.
She got. I can't remember the full details of it, but
Hot.
she got
She's hot.
She's hot.
best supporting actress
Mhm.
nomination for that movie, and it was like the first time someone in a comedy had been
Oh shit, yeah.
like a woman in a had gotten that
It's good for her.
because it was just so.
I think
like-
she's a great actress too. So
Yeah.
I mean,
I love her. When they pull her up on the stand to talk about the car, and she,
Don't go quote the
She's
whole.
gonna do it.
I'm positive.
I like
Rear
that.
suspension,
Christ.
Deposit track.
Posit track.
positive traction.
Number 9, Gridiron Gang. Whoa, football.
Woo.
That's what you can say about it. Yeah. Number 8, Jet
and
Li's
The Rock.
Fearless.
I don't think I've seen that.
I have. I'm just trying to figure out which one it is.
Yeah, everyone in my brain is Unchained or whatever.
Yeah, everyone for me is the like the Red
Django?
Dragon.
The
or whatever
one. No.
the one where he's
Django.
the one that has like the awesome like rap music and shit,
Cradles of the Grave.
or the one. Yeah, it's so good.
God damn it. Number 7, School for Scoundrels.
Ooh, with Napoleon Dynamite. And I cannot remember his name.
Heater and the guy that used to date Angelina Jolie, Billy Bob Thornton.
Yes, but
Billy Bob. What
what is his name?
Billy Bob Thornton.
No.
Something Heater.
Napoleon, because it's not Bill Hader, because that's the other guy. So it's
Heater. Something Heater.
I can't remember his name.
Doesn't matter. Number 6, Jackass 2.
Those.
I'll watch all of them until those guys are like,
I know, right?
we're
Until
dead.
they're dead.
I mean, they're gonna be dead soon.
They'll be in
Let's
wheelchairs.
Yeah. Number
Still
5,
doing it.
The Guardian.
Kevin Costner,
Sure.
Ashton Kutcher,
That's a great movie.
Coast Guard
was
Is that the one
Kushner-
where he has the
Oh,
number
it
2
is.
tattoo on his back?
for his team.
But what does
No,
mine
no.
say?
No, he goes.
Shit.
Why do you have that tattaoo?
Oh,
It's
so
like
people can see. Yeah, so people can see
what
who's
place
yeah,
they're gonna come
the place. Yep,
in. Like
I
a,
might change
because he
my
was
pick
because he
this
was a
week.
swimmer. Because he was a swimmer.
But what does mine say?
Don't do that. Are
Oh,
you really gonna
God.
do that one?
It's been a long time since I've
Dude.
watched that.
What does mine say?
Sweet.
But what does mine?
I forgot that movie existed until just now.
The continuum transfunction, huh?
That movie has so many wild
all that.
characters in it.
That movie, I bet you, holds up better than you think.
I feel like it holds up fine. I mean, I
That
didn't
movie's
hold it.
Fucking stupid.
I didn't
Well,
hold
I
it
mean,
that
I
high
loved it when
back
I was younger,
then.
but
Yeah,
Well, I'm saying, like, I don't.
did watch it again within the past 3 or 4 years,
It's great.
and it is the dumbest fucking movie.
it's real dumb.
But I
But it's
love
meant
them.
to be. They're
yeah,
dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was almost too much. Like I could do dumb
Also-
all day, but this was almost too much.
Their car was parked right there.
Dude, there's your card.
Right. Oh,
There's
shit.
your card, dude.
Yeah. Number 4, Employee of the Month.
Great
Mm.
movie.
Who's an L?
One of the best comedy lines of all time.
This
Oh,
is
dude,
an
this is-
81 Honda.
How dare
How dare you?
Forever and a day, when Sobe drinks were a thing,
Oh my
I
God.
tried pulling the cap off of the nipple caps off of was a Gatorade and putting it on Sobe bottles just to see if it would work.
And then he's got a holster of it. So good. I love the part. Is like, well, you got to sell it. It's listed. It's
I like
right here on the
was it
receipt.
the baseball scene where he's like pink like a vagina.
Iqbal is the one they use. Yeah. I don't know. Something about that movie. It just feels wholesome and fine. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
And-
great.
And that was the best like Dane Cook run I think he had.
I've always,
was fine.
but I still to this day I can't support Jessica Simpson as an actress. I'm just not good.
Oh
not,
yeah, I completely
not good
forgot.
for me.
She's just an afterthought in the movie.
Oh yeah, the remake of
Dukes of Hazzard.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, she knew what she was there for. She she looked amazing.
Hot.
She
Not
knew
for
what
me.
she was there for, but
Bible thumpers get the fuck
it wasn't
outta here.
acting.
I'll do it. Thump her.
When she walks in and
I'm
takes
joking.
off
I
the
just
coat and
couldn't help
she's just in the bikini and sits next to the guy and she's like, where's he holding the hearing? And immediately tells him, she's like, thanks, and just gets up and walks right back out.
I
Like
mean,
the
I get
whole
it,
reason
yeah,
she
yeah.
went in there was just for the bikini.
Yeah,
Blame her. Can't blame her. All right,
Yeah.
top 3 that week. The Departed, Open Season, Texas Chainsaw: The Beginning.
Open season like the cartoon
Yeah, the CGI
with
movie.
the bears.
Yep.
And the moose.
when did this come out? Well,
October
how long?
6th.
How long had these other ones?
So Texas Chainsaw first week, Departed. Sorry, The Departed first week, and Open Season second week.
Okay, I'm going Departed, Open in Texas.
What was the first one?
Departed.
Departed.
There you go.
Okay.
I'm going The Departed, Texas.
Texas.
And
Cock-ass!
open season.
No, she was doing the Miss
I know.
United States.
Yeah.
Texas.
Texas.
God damn it. Fucking William Shatner in that when everything's blowing up and he's just still singing the song. Miss United States. It is number
she's
1.
beauty and she's great.
Number 1, The Departed. Number 2, Texas Chainsaw. Number 3, Open
You
Season.
just hit your finger on there.
No,
She fucking.
You hit something.
I snapped.
Oh,
when
I thought
did
you.
it.
She
maybe
went-
it was
she went
you
by
hitting
so
something,
quick.
But as soon as your finger hit the mic, it went.
Maybe.
So I thought you pistol whipped.
No,
the
I hear it
microphone.
now. I think it's because she's going by it so quick. The wind's whipping. Ah,
Something's going on.
something's going on in this domicile. Budget time. What do we think it costs to make The Departed?
A lot.
A lot.
A lot. No,
That's
I can't.
that's so much
now you
salary.
sound like Forrest Gump. A lot.
A lot. Life is like a box of chocolate.
I like it a lot.
Jedi.
What, I mean,
More.
what-
Well-
I was running.
So what's the difference between saying a lot in a Boston accent and saying a lot in a Forrest Gump accent? Could you
A
do
lot.
that, Tara?
yeah. How do you,
Well, I think
A lot.
Boston.
Is it the same?
A
I think
lot.
Boston.
A lot.
Boston is just a lot.
a lot.
Like you just
A
say
lot.
a lot.
or
a lot.
what?
So
lot.
A's not there.
A lot.
A
A
lot.
lot.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay, that's better. I can see that.
Forrest
Like
Gump
a
has a
lot.
draw. That's a lot.
Right.
I'm gonna say a fat $100 million.
One
That's-
handy.
oh,
He's
that's
going for
what-
a C
that's
note.
what I was gonna say.
Handy million.
I'm just gonna. Yeah.
I mean, you could say the same thing if you want.
No, I don't want to.
Okay, what do you got?
She's gonna be like
117.
117. I guessed 65 million. It
Oh, shit.
cost 90 million. Look at you, Wally.
Your random guess.
Yeah,
over
yeah,
here.
right, yeah, yeah, look at that. Look at that. All right, box office then. What do we think it fucking made
Mm.
in theaters?
I'm gonna go
150.
You fucking asshole. I'll do one. I don't want to get close. I'm gonna do.
It's like a stutter when you do.
I know. I'll do 159.
159. He's fucking prices right here. I guess 185.
I was about to say 150. But
I
then
know,
she
that's
was
why
like,
I said it
"Wait,
first."
wait, wait."
Because I had it in my head. And I was like, no.
New idea. Price is right, but it's a free for all.
Just
You don't
the
take your
screaming
time.
numbers.
Just fucking fine.
You
Just
just say
do
it.
45.
That's
We
how I
don't do it.
answer everything that we do. So,
Right.
welcome to pure honesty over here.
So I guess 185. Opening weekend, it did $26.8 million overall.
Damn.
291.5 million.
Oh, this is a big boy.
Chill.
I knew it was a big movie, but for some reason I didn't think it was that big early off.
Me either. I wasn't
know?
thinking this being like obviously look who's in it. Sure.
Well,
Look
yeah.
who directed it,
Mhm.
the timing when it came out, but I wasn't thinking like big boy pants, you know.
Yeah.
I was thinking at least
What was it?
This has
291.5, almost $300 million. That
arguably it has
Wow.
3
Wow.
super heavy hitters and then just a lot of heavy actors.
Yeah.
So it's like
I mean, Alec Baldwin just being in the background.
hmm
arguably one of my favorite characters, by the way.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Anyways,
Matt Damon just being Matt Damon.
yeah. He's
Matt
Damon.
Damon.
sings
I
everything.
I like Matt Damon, and then he's everywhere, so I'm like, man. Sometimes
I like Matt Damon, but I have to say, wasn't it not at the top of my list in this movie?
he plays the part fine.
Oh, he plays the part fine, but he plays it fine.
Let's talk
Right.
about
You know what I
how
mean?
Yeah.
Jack Nicholson is a monster in literally everything that he does.
Tell me a bad
He's like
role.
full
He-
throttle.
Not yeah,
all the
it's
time.
like every time he's on, even it's like saying a single fucking
Right.
word.
It's amazing.
Yeah, he just had whatever it is.
Well,
he
even the
has
other
it.
one, like even just like As Good as It Gets, or like
Yeah,
not
anger
the.
management.
I was gonna say anger management.
Yeah.
like the
He's
fuck
amazing.
is hilarious.
He has me mad at him
Marissa Tomei.
when I'm watching that movie. Like
Yeah.
he has me furious. Like how does Adam Sandler not punch him in the face? Yeah.
I-
so pretty.
I think there's some people that just have that.
Oh, they got
You're
it.
just
That je ne
completely-
sais quoi.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's not even that he's acting's fucking phenomenal, but it's just every word that leaves his mouth.
Now,
Like,
I will
oh, yeah,
say
it's
this.
fucking amazing.
He is the same in everything.
I do feel like that's true. Like
Yeah.
I don't think you see a lot of variety.
But
in
maybe
him.
that's
like
he's just so locked into that character.
It works,
Yeah,
right? You know, so I can't get mad.
I'm trying to
at
think
it.
of the older like As Good as It Gets is older. I
Mhm.
think that's like
Obviously,
90s.
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest would
maybe.
be old. Fucking The Shining.
was
As Good as It Gets, he is still an angry guy though. So
Mhm,
like
mhm.
you think that sniff was improvised? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah.
The rat part where
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, he's
Yep.
like interviewing after he didn't give up. Well, he came in but left
And then
Mhm.
comes
the
back.
social security. Yeah, and they're interviewing and he like gets done. It's super tense, but then he like leaves and he sneaks behind him. Like,
Mhm.
and then I was like,
It
I
has to
think,
be.
yeah, that has to be improvised.
Also,
I thought I honestly the way that it played out, it looked like it was going to be a blooper. Like it looked like he
Oh,
was gonna
okay.
like
Yeah, yeah,
jump
yeah.
behind
Yeah,
him,
yeah,
but
yeah.
then he noticed him, so then he was like, "Oh shit!" let me
Well,
just,
yeah.
like-"
If not, the filming was phenomenal because they left him out of focus.
Yep.
The majority of the time.
When
So
he's
I
because he
think it was
peeks behind him, he
improvised.
does this.
Right,
even. Like
right,
it
right.
looks. I think it was going to be. That's the way I saw it. It looked like it had the potential to be like he was going to scare him, and it was going to be like a blooper type
Yeah,
of thing.
yeah. That's what I thought was gonna happen too.
Because it was such a serious moment that he was just going to pop behind him and just be like, ah.
Right.
I-
I
But
also
then he
think,
saw him, so
like,
he was like,
I also think if we're looking at the movie itself, that scene, they know it's him as the rat, and that they're coming together and saying, "Yo, we got you." But I think Leo, as the character, weasels his way out of it.
well, and then because
Sure,
they do
sure.
test him later when they give him that information. They're like,
Right.
shit, well, it's not him.
Exactly.
And they're so thrown off because they thought for sure.
But then,
And the only thing that saved him was that the cops that he reports to weren't sharing anything with anybody.
correct. But then
That's the only thing
also,
that
the
saved him.
guy that calls and says, "Hey, this is the address," gives him the wrong address, ends up being a cop too.
Or was he?
No.
Yes, he was. So as he's dying, he says, "The reason
Oh, do you know
why
why I didn't? Yeah, and then he
Exactly,
dies.
and
right,
then he
right,
dies.
right, right.
he's a fucking he's a co-op." Also, who else
Wait,
was
wait,
a
wait,
cop
hold
in his
on.
fucking thing?
Say that again.
So the guy that gets shot in the stomach in the
I know
shootout
you're talking about.
dies, right? On the
Yeah.
couch.
Yeah, yeah.
He brings William in, or William sits down with him, and he goes,
Yeah.
"You know, I gave you the wrong address,
And yet you still showed
but
up.
yet you still
Mhm.
showed up." And then he leans in and goes, "But you know why I didn't say anything?" And then dies. It's because he's a cop
He
too.
says he doesn't know why, right? I don't know why I didn't say anything.
No, he says.
No, he says.
He's basically saying this is why I didn't say anything, and then dies,
He said. I
Wh-
think he says, "Ask me why." I
or
didn't say
something like
anything."
that. Yeah.
I don't think he was a cop.
No,
You
I
think
do.
they've
No,
played?
I'm pretty convinced that he's not a cop, actually, because I thought the same thing initially.
Then why would
I
he say
think-
that? Why would he say, "Ask me why I didn't tell anyone"?
Right.
I think it's left in the air. I think it's specifically left in the air for that
So
purpose.
so hold on. So if you
Because
want to
they
look
want,
at
they
the
want
story,
people to decipher it after the fact. So like
but
when it hits the big screen,
But
they're
hold-
like, oh, he's a cop, and then Jack Nicholson's like, oh,
They're just
he's
saying it so I don't look for him.
exactly. So I think they try to leave it up in the air on purpose.
hold on though. They find that body relatively easily, right? And that guy
Sure.
even says, "I fucking went out and for hours put this guy in the marsh
Yeah.
somewhere. There's no way anybody could have found this." Right?
Mhm.
To me, that's showing there's other people in his shit that's a cop as well. I feel like this whole thing is just everybody is a rat.
They
on
also
everybody.
I
say
think they're trying to
multiple
give him up
times,
as an
"I need a
FBI
list
agent, but
of
then
your
it ends up being-
undercovers." They
Right.
say that to like that
Multiple
they have
times.
that they're saying that they have multiple undercovers.
Exactly. There's not just one guy there.
Sure, but I think that gets filtered out when they find out Jack Nicholson's shit, as he's an informant also.
But for the
But
FBI,
then,
not for the cops.
But then you even find
Yeah,
out
it's still
he's
a
got
cop, but
multiple
they're all
people in the
cops to him.
cops because then that guy shows up
Mhm.
to help Matt Damon and he's like, "You think you were the only one?"
Right.
yeah,
That's why I'm
I
saying
agree.
I think they were all intertwined. I think
Yep.
there were multiple on both sides.
I think almost everybody besides French was a fucking snitch.
or had the potential to be.
Right. Because why would you just kill yourself at the end? He knew he was up.
I think he just, he didn't want to go. Yeah, he was like, "Fuck it, I'm not going to burn here, and I'm not going to go to jail."
Exactly.
So. And he just says, "Fuck it." I like how he's just like, "Fuck it,"
Great character too.
and the fact that he still tries to drive away after being shot too.
it just
Best he could.
doesn't make sense at that point why he just doesn't kind of let him know that he is
Which part?
where
Leo?
he's about to fucking die on the couch. Like,
Well,
it
I think he
doesn't-
was.
You're not.
He
meant
was
to be
about to, and then he
cryptic.
dies. That's what I'm saying. When he's like, "Ask me why I didn't say anything," and then all of a sudden it flashes forward to them saying he's a cop on the TV.
Right.
Okay.
Now,
So I
also,
agree. I
hold
think
on.
he's a cop.
Dignam is out at this point. The
Mhm.
main cop is dead. The
Yeah.
chief is dead.
Yeah.
So Matt Damon, who is the fucking rat, is in charge of that.
Yeah. Well,
So he's not going to orchestrate something to say that this guy who's not a cop is a cop to show that that's the
Yeah,
rat.
because he's
but it
still
also
looking
is
for the rat.
counterproductive if you're trying to save the dude, because if you're telling him to show up to a place where he's going to end up being identified as the rat, so if he's like, "Yo, don't go here," and he shows
But
up,
he doesn't know Williams the rat is a rat
They
as
don't
well.
know about each other.
Right.
Yeah.
He only found out in that part where he said, "Hey, go to this fucking address."
And he gave him the wrong one.
He
That's
gave him
the, only
the
reason.
wrong address, and then he showed up there anyways.
so you're saying he was testing him?
Mm-mm.
No, I think he just found out at the same
I
time
think
that
he
they were
realized
cops.
after he was like, "Wait a second, why did he still show up when I gave him the wrong address?"
Right.
Because
As he was
says,
dying.
He says when you talk to him, he said, "You know what I realized?
So
You're never
saying
late."
he was testing him as the rat
No,
in character.
We're saying no. We're saying
They were both cops, but didn't know each other were cops.
Exactly.
Right.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
So he said, "I gave you the wrong address, but you still showed up."
why did you give him the wrong address?
Right. Why do
that's
you
where
think?
I'm at.
Yeah. Why do you
well,
think?
he said I realized after I
Because
gave
if
you
you're
the
going
wrong
to give him the
address.
wrong address, you are selling him to be.
No, he gave it to him on
On accident.
accident.
That's what he says. He says, I realized after that I gave you the wrong address. He says that to him while he's dying.
because it was like 814, and he gave him like 94 or something. Like it
He
was
says
super.
he
yeah.
says it to him while he's dying. I
Okay.
realized
Maybe I
after.
gotta rewatch this part, but I was
He
pretty
says, I
meticulous
realized
with this
because
portion
he was
of the
like,
movie.
"You're never late," and then I realized I gave you the wrong address, but then you showed up anyways.
late,
That's what he says.
and then he goes,
How
but
did
you
you
know?
know?
Right,
Yeah.
also, you know why I didn't,
Ask me. Yeah,
ask
ask me
me
why,
why I
I didn't.
knew,
Say,
yeah.
I didn't tell anyone,
and then dies.
and then he dies.
And then you see he's a cop later, like right after. And now, boom, we found the rat.
But
So,
then
I mean,
although
yeah.
then he's still, although Costello's still like, I don't buy it. Like there's
Right,
another
right.
one.
When I tell you to fucking put him in the marsh,
Yeah.
put him in the mash.
Put him in the mosh.
Right.
Bear quits that all the time, by the way.
Oh,
Put him in the mosh.
Well, that's
I don't know.
Isn't I also liked how they kind of swapped Leo and Matt's characters at that end point. Because Leo was even trying to like not warn him, but you know what I mean? Like, hey, are you sure you want to do this to Nicholson? Before the cops showed up, he's like, I don't know. Don't you think it's weird that
Yeah.
it's but then Matt shows up and he shoots him.
Right.
Somebody he's been working for.
right.
So it was almost like we swapping places
I
a little bit.
Well, yeah. No, I, get
I don't
what you're
think
saying.
I get the
Not
symbolism
fully
there.
swapping it.
Right,
Bill
it
was
was-
still doing his
he-
job.
right.
I
but-
think he found out about him possibly being an FBI informant from the captain's notes. So
Oh.
he was like, right.
Right.
Oh,
He
yeah,
went
he
there
was
and
like,
he's
fuck
like-
this guy. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, I need to take care of this now. This
Right,
was the whole
because
Although-
reason he
I
left.
might be found
Had
out.
Nicholson never shot at Damon, would he have even shot him? Because he shoots back at him,
I think
technically.
so. I think so.
Because
Yeah.
Nicholson pulls his gun and shoots at Damon first, and then Damon shoots him.
Also,
I think he
though-
went there with intent. That's what I got from it. Intent to kill
Oh,
Nicholson.
kill him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
After
they
finding
they
all that
just
out.
open fire on them. With
100%,
yeah,
yeah.
so they're going there just to kill.
Yeah.
They're not trying to grab anybody. So
Yeah.
yeah. Tomatometer time. Rotten Tomato scores. The Roddy T's. What do we think critics and audience gave this out of 100%? I'm going Wally first.
I'm going to give this like a solid 85.
85 for critics.
87
87 for audience.
for critics.
Okay.
And then audience, I'm going to go 92.
Ooh.
Okay, literally the same numbers that I was
Shut
going to
the
say.
fuck up. Okay,
I'm
okay.
not even kidding. While I was watching it, I came up with those numbers, 85 and 92.
That was my brain on the fly.
Did you write them down?
No, I
Then I
didn't.
don't
I'm
believe
going to
you.
start now.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, you need evidence.
That is literally what I was going to say, 85
I mean,
and
you
92.
can you can have it. It's
I do a very fast evaluation
In
in
mo-
my
y-
brain.
yeah, just
like
done.
on moment. I'm like,
Yeah.
done.
So I went. Then are you
That's
are you,
so
are you going to
funny.
keep
I'm
those
gonna-
numbers?
Yeah, I'm going to keep them. That's really funny.
So I
though.
went critics 85, audience 90.
Oh, so
So
we're
we were
all
all
in the
about
same
the
spot.
same.
Let's be real. This is a good fucking movie.
This is a good
It's
movie.
a great movie.
There's no way critics are
I
going.
can't. Well, there's
Yeah,
no
yeah.
way critics didn't like it, and we know audience liked it.
Right.
So
Critic score.
Yeah.
91.
damn.
Audience score. 94.
This is the highest yet.
It's
gotta
up-
be.
it's up
It's
there.
definitely
gotta
up there.
be.
I would
It's
say
definitely up there.
with both scores being in the 90s, it's up there.
Like we've had some where definitely one of them was.
League, what was league year on?
Oh, that
was
one was
curious.
good. You know,
That's-
I can
that-
look
that
now
one
because
has
You can
to be
look.
good,
I
right?
think
That
it
one
was in
was-
the
it was
80s for
definitely-
critics, and I
and
think
I-
90s.
audience was-
I'm trying
yeah.
to think of like the like other critically acclaimed movies that we've done.
I mean, Die Hard was up there for sure.
I will
Yeah,
say
yeah.
that was A League of Their Own. Not only was big on Rotten Tomatoes, but even ours like
Yeah,
was
yeah,
some of the
we're
highest
up there.
ones.
I got to update our scores online. I haven't been keeping up with that, but we're gonna have a revamp.
Yeah, 8. So
Fans
it's,
doing all
it's,
the hard work behind the scenes.
it's
I'm
80s
trying.
for both. League of
Okay,
Their Own.
not bad, not bad. IMDb score on this guy was an 8.5. Could have been a little higher. I don't know. Whatever. Who was our favorite character in this movie? Walter.
I don't want to pick like a big. I love Marky Mark in this. Like the
I feel like we
sassiest,
haven't
but I
talked
think
about
I'm,
him enough. Honestly,
I feel like Alec Baldwin is like,
He does his role perfect.
oh yeah, like he's just a jock cop.
Yeah,
like
oh, yeah.
100%.
The
No, I
where,
like that.
Were
And
they
he
at
sounds
the
exactly like him in real life.
Were they at the driving range and he's just like, make sure your cock works. He's like, oh, my
Yeah.
cock works.
She's a doctor.
Right.
We haven't talked
He's
about
like,
her
oh,
either.
that's nice.
I do want to say
She did a great
sometimes
job.
she did a great job, but sometimes that accent, I was like, whoa.
When they're at dinner, there was something she said specific. That first dinner they go to,
Yeah.
there's something she said specifically. I can't remember what it was, but as soon as she said it, I was like, ugh.
Let's,
That's
let's take that again.
overkill,
Right.
overkill.
Take that again from the
Like,
top. That wasn't that.
But
We're in
wait,
Boston.
she's really the only strong female role in the whole movie.
Only. I mean,
Yeah.
who else is there?
The only other one that I can think of is his girlfriend that's in
Right.
a handful of scenes.
And I think was trying to get pregnant or was pregnant at the end of the movie
hmm
because she's reading like a how to get pregnant book at the end before they go to that drug whatever thing.
Do we think we think it was Leo's baby, not Matt's?
Yeah.
It's the doctor.
I don't think the timelines match up,
Why not? She was
Because-
having sex with both of them.
but it doesn't show concurrently that she's having sex with Leo. I think he was just there like once or twice maybe.
But it was not long before she showed
I
him.
don't know though because like
thing.
the way the movie works is like boom 6 months later.
Okay,
and,
but
like,
they
you know,
also mention Matt struggling with impotence earlier in the movie.
correct and he throughout. So
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I did forget about that.
I mean, although he wasn't surprised, so
Right.
obviously he had
I got it up one time. So, yeah.
they have had successful sex, but
Right.
so I'm not moving in with someone if I'm not having successful things.
Well, that's the thing. They were getting
Just saying.
married, pregnant now. Like
They weren't getting married yet.
I thought they were.
They were
talking-
moved. They had moved in. They had moved in together. But she told Leo they had only been dating for 4 months. But at the movie, Leo was saying that he had been in the thing for almost a year.
That's
And
what I was
I
saying.
thought they met pretty early on, but I guess they didn't.
The movie does a time
Is
thing
weird, yeah.
that it goes quick in some parts and
Because when
parts.
she's with Leo at the coffee shop or whatever
The
they're
coffee.
at, yeah, the coffee shop. No, that's New York. Coffee is New York.
what would
Coffee,
Caffey?
coffee shop.
I'm gonna get some Caffey.
Coffee
Or.
shop.
It's
Sure.
that or.
Or
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is.
fuck you, my friend.
New York
Have a
is
good
the
day.
New York
Sorry.
is the ua,
Yeah.
and
yeah,
then Boston
Oh.
is the ah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, I learned that today, just now.
That's the difference.
Okay.
You're welcome.
So yeah,
I'm figuring it out.
favorite character then.
Let it change your life.
I'm gonna go
moving
Baldwin.
forward.
Okay, Alec
Baldwin,
Baldwin.
yeah, yeah.
I'm saying Leo. I just can't. I know. I try to. I try not to pick the mains a lot of the times too, but I just
Dry weight.
really I really loved him.
Yeah, mine's gonna be Dignam. I mean, it has to be the end of the movie. Everything about him.
Sweetest.
He's an asshole through this whole. Ooh,
Yeah.
you hear that? An asshole
An asshole.
through the whole movie, but it's warranted, and it
Fucking
makes sense
asshole.
for the movie and his character, right? So it's got to be him.
I mean, I do like. I mean that last scene where he's got the wraps on his shoes and.
Oh,
stuff.
he ready. He ready.
Like,
oh, what is
I
that? What is
love that.
You're showing me the answers. on
Me
that.
too.
Let's see those.
Don't worry, I trust
TV and movie
Wait.
trivia time.
I know, I
While he's got the
proved
card.
myself.
What do you, he's got the CAD.
Everyone
He's got
who
the
said
CAD.
that I proved that we were.
While he's got the CAD. He's gonna
Oh,
ask
you
you.
guys
Dad.
can I pick a different one?
You already did. You
Yeah,
just
but
did
you guys
just
are
now.
gonna get this one in like 2 seconds.
Because there's two questions on there.
All right. Well, the first one you get.
Tell me the first.
Something's on my eye.
Okay.
again.
Stevie might know. You
Or
well,
it's
both
the,
you might.
or
Okay.
it's
So,
the same thing.
what is the opening line from the theme song from The Fresh Prince of Bel Air?
Oh shit. Oh yeah, I got it. No, that's the fucking second verse. Why am I blanking on this?
I'm ready.
Shh.
I have to write it down. I don't feel like I had to write it down.
I got it.
Then you have to go first if you did write it down.
Hmm?
Then you have to go first if you did
I did write it down.
write it down.
I don't know how to spell that.
Oh,
All these words are.
Okay.
these
Less
are
than
all
5
really
letters.
easy words.
West Philadelphia, born and raised.
No, now
No?
this is a story.
Fuck.
She's correct.
Is that the damn?
Now this is a story all about how my life got flipped, turned upside
Yeah,
down.
you're right.
I'd like to
Like,
take a
take it
minute,
down,
and
just
sit right here,
and
tell you how I became a prince of a
All right,
town
so
called Bel Air.
we doing
And
the-
then it's
West Philadelphia,
in
born
West
and raised. Yeah.
Philadelphia. Mine's not erasing.
Press it harder.
This one's got a great soundtrack, by the way.
The battery maybe did. What do you got?
Fucking knuckled the shit out of it. For
Fucking
which
knuckle deep.
for which action-packed 2017 movie did the director select the soundtrack before writing the script?
Wait, say it. Sorry. say it again.
2017.
2017.
Yes. So for which action-packed 2017 movie did the director select the soundtrack before writing the script?
I think fucking.
Can I give hints?
Sure.
I think the vehicle being driven in the open scene was a red Subaru.
I can't even erase
got
things.
it.
I have to scribble stuff out.
I think it was a Subaru. If I just steered you guys wrong, we'll do a different one.
I don't know.
But I'm
I
pretty
really don't
sure.
know. I don't even have a guess.
What's yours?
What's that? What did that even say?
Good. He read it.
I don't know.
Steve is correct.
Baby
is
Driver.
1 for 1. 1 and 1. It's a great movie.
Watch it.
Yeah.
Is John Berthenol in that?
Yes. Yes.
I don't know what to do.
He
with
sits in the
this.
back seat in the opening scene.
That's right.
I had to scribble out my.
I've seen this movie one time, so I have no idea why any of that
I
information
mean,
is
maybe
still
I
locked in my
did.
brain.
Maybe I watched it with Carrick at the house or something when it came out, but I don't remember it. I remember the guy that's the Baby Driver.
The lock was on.
I didn't even know it did that.
Me neither. Flipped it over. There's a lock on it.
Hokidoki.
Okie dokie. Favorite fight? Favorite fight. I guess you
Ooh,
could, yeah. Favorite scene in this movie?
Cool. I didn't think that through when I was watching it. I feel like I should.
I mean, that's on you.
I agree.
I
Oh.
think. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, it's the end. I mean,
Yeah, I'm not.
I
I'm,
feel
I'm
like
not
that-
picking that front. That because are we still doing the most fucked up?
that would be the what the fuck moment at the
That's
next question.
Yeah. So
That's your
anyways,
what the fuck moment. I love
Yeah.
that scene.
That's
But it
got
is,
one of
though.
the biggest what the fucks of all time.
Because you do not
No.
see it coming.
My
Like,
honestly,
if I literally my way I process what the fuck moments
Mm.
is if I'm watching a movie and I'm like, what the fuck?
Exactly.
That's a what the fuck moment. It doesn't necessarily. It doesn't have to be a specific type of moment.
Right. It
It's
just
just
happens.
like, holy, what the fuck?
I feel like what surprised me more was Leo getting shot in the head when the elevator opened.
Well, that's what we're talking about.
I'm talking. Oh, you said the end. I thought
That's
you meant.
the end.
I thought you.
They're pretty much equal to me.
I
They're
thought you
not
meant
that
when Matt
far
Damon
apart.
gets shot.
I
That's
mean,
the
but to me,
end.
that's all one big scene.
That's one of the best payoffs I've ever seen in a movie.
Because he's like,
For the
Love
most
that,
part.
yeah.
Yeah.
wait.
Yeah. It's,
Yeah,
it's,
he's
and
like,
he's
oh,
got
he says,
everything.
"All right,"
He's
he
got
says,
the
"All right,"
things
he
on
goes,
his shoes.
All right.
All right,
Yeah.
and then like he's about to reason with him.
We're doing favorite scene though, right? So
Yeah,
my
yeah.
my favorite scene is probably the first one with Marky Mark, the captain, and Leonardo DiCaprio.
Okay.
in
yeah,
the
yeah.
office.
And they're sitting in the office.
The office.
And he's like figuring out what's going on. And like Marky Mark is like stabbing at him over and over again. He's like, that's probably one of my favorite scenes.
And it makes
in this
sense,
whole
though,
movie.
because you got to make sure he can handle it,
Those
right?
three on camera were
Gold.
fucking
Yeah.
phenomenal. The cop car talking out in the open. It's great. Super good. Anyway,
I mean, this is a master class in acting.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
and I think that's why it's hard to narrow it down because I feel
Yeah.
like everything is almost even keeled, like
It feels,
quality wise.
yeah, like how do you, there's nothing bad in this movie.
Yeah. Every part,
Right.
even this little note because we don't talk about soundtracks very often. But today I had my blue when I was watching it.
My Bluetooth's in.
Yeah, and they were having that
My
moment.
Bluey's in.
Yeah, where it was like a moment that didn't require any like music,
Mm.
and I could hear all the bass, and it was that moment where he was in her old apartment after she had moved. Do you know what part I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it was right before they had sex. But if you listen to that,
Oh,
it's
when
got
yeah.
the lowest ominous bass sounds you probably wouldn't be able to hear unless you had a dope ass sound system.
Right. I want
Yeah,
to say
it's like,
something about that. Was that not the timeline of that fucked up? Because she moves into Matt Damon's
Oh, yeah,
apartment and
yeah.
shows him the picture of her as a youngin.
Yeah.
And
But
that's
then
still in her
later
apartment.
it shows the apartment and she's packing up her apartment and that's still on the wall, which Leo puts back on the wall.
Although and the movers come because
I
she
took
even
that as a confidence thing, and she wasn't really confident in moving out. But I guess I could be
I
a little
also
different.
here's what I love about that though that they did that is when Matt Damon looks at it at that picture in the
Damon.
box that she brought,
Mhm.
he's like, "Oh, we're not putting this up. Like we're not having this."
And he puts it
Leo
back on. Yeah.
walks in and was like, "Oh, look at you," and then puts it right back up on the wall. Like you could see the different, and I feel like you could see that in her too, like a different
yeah.
reaction to
Oh, yeah,
that.
yeah.
Because she was like, "What the fuck?" When Matt
Her
Damon was
job is
like,
to
"We're not
pick
putting
brains
this up."
apart. So
That's actually so one of my favorite scenes is him in her office when he's like
Yeah,
going off, like the
okay.
first time when
Yeah,
they're
where
sitting in
he's
the office.
clearly being like outsmarting this shit, like
Yeah, because
working her.
but also I think being 100% real because he is very fucked up. He is in deep at this point, and he's like,
But he's
I don't
manipulating
know
the
what to do
shit out of her
anymore.
in
Oh,
that part. It's
but also-
100%
for sure. But I think
manipulation.
he's being honest
Yeah.
too.
Oh yeah, but
'Cause
at the
he's-
same time, right? He's in a high pressure situation
Mhm.
where he's probably on edge 100% of the time.
Oh, yeah,
Yep.
imagine.
I
It's
I-
it's
He
fucking
is.
wild.
He's like frantic almost all the time. Like you can see it in his eyes and
Yeah,
in
almost
his
have
like
to be. Yeah.
his body's so tense all the time.
The writing in this. Is
Yeah.
Imagine reading through this, like from the two perspectives the
right,
whole
right,
time.
right.
Yeah, it's fucking phenomenal. It's so good.
Ever watch movies like this and you see these heavy hitters,
Mhm.
interacting with each other, like some of the fight scenes, because most of them are in scenes with each other. Like there's not a lot of them that didn't interact at least once in a
Right.
scene together.
You're right.
Do you think that they still talk?
Like outside of like as friends.
Yeah.
I feel like so Leo's in a category of his own where he's now like obviously during this movie I think even though he's a heavy hitter,
Mm.
he wouldn't have been seen as the biggest actor in this movie, right? Obviously now, yeah. So I feel like Matt Damon and Mark Wahlberg are probably like tight, both Boston guys, whatever.
Yeah.
Leo probably not. He's
Because
off.
like he's still so close with Jonah Hill, which is funny to me because they seem like very different people. But
sure.
but they are still very open about how
Yeah.
close they are. Even when they did
Wolf of Wall Street.
No.
Oh, are
the
we talking?
Don't Look Up, whatever the new one that came out
Oh,
with
yeah,
Jennifer
yeah,
Lawrence.
yeah.
That was the first thing they had done together in years,
time,
and they were
right.
still talking about how close they are.
Maybe.
And so it makes me
I've
think
seen
of-
pictures though of them hanging out.
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
is fine. I've never seen anybody else in this
That's
movie
why.
hanging
That's
out.
why
Yeah,
I'm saying
yeah.
that.
You find a few people while you work, right? So I think it's be the same concept.
You're
But
right.
because
you're
I
right,
do
you're
feel
right.
like I do feel like you'll hear
gravitate to
actors
certain people.
talking about their relationships with other people more than you see pictures because they do that on purpose.
Sure.
They try not to. Some of the
look,
ones that are really close, they're not hanging out in public.
No,
they're like
no.
hanging out at each other's houses. And
They're
stuff.
they're going to back club fucking
He's
weird
out,
shit.
he's out
yeah.
on yachts with
They're
women.
having-
Exactly. Right.
Polka nights and shit.
Polka nights. Right. I mean, I go to a polka night.
Pork.
Not poker. Polka.
Pocket.
Like
Po-
hey, beep, beep,
That's
beep,
a
beep.
weird
Yeah.
one to
polka
say in
nights.
both accents. How do you
Paka.
say that in both accents?
We go to Paka. Paka
no,
night.
it wouldn't
some
be
polka?
pocket. It would still
Polka?
be poker,
Would it be poker?
but it would be polka.
Polka night.
poker.
Polka
to-
night.
I feel
Go
like
to
there'd still
pocket
be an
night.
accent on there. Would there
That's
not
what
be
I'm
an
saying.
accent on
Polka night.
I'm trying Canadian accent.
So the A's
you guys
want to
fucking go
ERs are
play
in.
there
Yes,
poker
yeah,
there, bud?
polka
Yeah,
night.
we'll go play some poker there, bud. I don't know. Just fucking-
And I think in New York it's about the same
Mike.
because they say polka night.
Polka night.
Polka night.
Sure. Any what the fuck moments?
I would
Wally?
explain mine.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
got
Yeah,
yours.
yeah. Both gunshot kills,
Yeah, that
like almost all three.
Yeah.
Everyone has an
Yeah.
epic fucking death in this. The
Dude,
three
when he
big guys,
even when he falls
minus
off the
Wahlberg.
roof, I feel like it's like
Yeah, yeah.
when
you
he
don't
just
see
hits
that.
the
Yeah,
like,
you don't see that coming either. Like I
No.
think every part of this movie from that death on, you don't see coming.
Another thing, sound wise, that it dumps everything at that point in time,
it's
and all you hear is a seagull in the
Mhm.
background. It gave it the most realistic
Right.
sounds
Yep.
that you were going to hear for that part, and I was like, okay, this is
even,
fucking
but
good.
the smallest details in this movie too, like before he walks into his apartment and he goes to pet the dog and the lady pulls the dog away from
Perfect.
him.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
It's the smallest thing because like you don't know why that lady doesn't like him, but it's just
Scumbag.
Just a dog thing.
not a
maybe.
vibe.
Could be.
She's just like, nope, don't.
Well, no, I mean he's in the public eye.
Sure, but like, why would she not like him? This old rich lady not like this guy?
She said, "Loik."
He's a cop.
Like he's a quack.
Like,
Is he though? He's
He's
a
a
quack.
cop.
Yeah. My what the
are
fuck?
you a cop?
My what the fuck is just like it's yours. It's the ending. Just like my
Mm-hmm.
favorite scene. Like everything about this movie does not give you the ending. Right? You do not see
No.
Leo getting his head done. Right? You don't see even Mark Wahlberg. Sorry, you don't see Matt Damon getting out of that fucking scene. And then for that random other dude who came up with him in the academy, all these people came up in the academy together. Even the I don't want to say the black guy, I can't remember his name. He even says, "Yo, Will was with me in my class." So everybody there, and who knows if the black guy was in on this too. You know,
I think
Jack-
he was the only one who wasn't. He
I
feels like
think-
the only one who was like.
And if you want to go,
out.
if you want to go and look at this as a real world thing, Jack Nicholson's character wouldn't have gotten a black guy. Let's be real with all the stuff he says in this
Yeah.
movie and
Yeah.
everything, right? So it makes sense. But also, yeah, all these people he's been grooming
But
for
same
so
thing,
long.
that other guy comes up and he like you don't expect that. That Matt Damon went to him,
right?
went with
I
him in Academy. They are so shown earlier sitting on the bench talking to each other. And that guy comes up and he's like, "Do you think you were the only one?" And then when Matt Damon pulls the gun and shoots him because he's like, "No,
Right.
I'm not having anybody that knows I'm in it. I don't care if they're on the in or not."
Right. There's one big thing here that I don't know. Well, obviously we haven't discussed, but the ending scene. Well, not the ending scene, but the scene with Jack Nicholson.
Mhm.
is that Will and Matt Damon's character, sorry, Leo and Matt Damon's character coming together to create this happening?
I mean,
You mean like the conversations? and
So
shit
like they
that-
talk to each other on the phone, right? But we
Yeah.
don't see the actual conversation they have because they do say they had a conversation on
Yeah,
the
yeah.
phone. Is that not them coming
Yeah,
together to
because-
make that happen? And even Leo going, look, are you sure you still want to go with this? There might be another tale here. Is that not him knowing that this is happening?
I
oh,
think.
well, I mean, he's
I think
texting
they-
him.
I think everyone's.
That's what I'm saying. They're
Yeah.
in together
They're-
making this plan.
But you know what's fun? You're right,
But I
though.
think
They
they're
don't
all
show the
still
conversation.
for their own goal, kind of thing, right?
Because
They
the
both
only
have-
conversation they show them having,
saving
Leo
his
hangs
ass
up
and
on
him.
him. So they don't show them have an in-depth conversation.
But
Are
they
you
have
talking
it.
about the first hang up and then it calls back and there's like a few brief words? Is that
And
what
then
you're
and
talking
yeah,
about?
and then he hangs up. He's like, "No, you get."
And that's all
what's
they
his
show.
face, and
But
then-
then they
yeah.
show
They're
Leo in the
texting.
car texting,
That's what
right?
I'm saying. Then it
So-
jumps to them texting.
And then they talk about it when he's like, "Hey, I just want to get paid." They talk about that conversation that they had that's off screen. So to me, they came together and made the plan to get Costello at the end and everybody.
It makes me so sad that he went through all that, and not only
And-
did he
and
not
he-
get
and he's
paid,
dead,
but
right.
he goes
Yeah,
and deletes him.
right.
like
But he
didn't
did get a
exist.
hero. You know, he
Do you
got the
think
medal.
I
and
Leonardo
wanna
was
say-
smart
I
enough to
wanna
put all
go
that
on record.
together? Do you think he was smart enough to put the majority of that ending
yeah,
together?
they said in the beginning of the movie that he was too smart to even be in the academy.
So, like him sending those messages under the assumption that he knows that Nicholson is an FBI informant would set that up for him to kill him or one of them to be dead.
that's what I'm saying. And
Yeah,
I
yeah. So
you
think
think
he
that-
knows. I think he knows that he's talking to Costello's rat.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Right? You don't pick that phone up from a dead guy's phone, which he even says.
Who does the call back after the first hang up?
So
He
Matt
does.
Damon calls him, and then he calls him back.
Exactly. So
Right.
that's where I think he realized exactly what he could do.
Exactly.
But he didn't. But it also then he shows him see that citizen's
Mm-hmm.
envelope in his office.
I think
and
that's
then
when
he
he-
goes, "Fuck."
I think that's when he realized it was.
and then he was
him.
like, "I need to get the fuck out of here."
correct. Yeah, and he does. Later, bitch.
What
Cool.
a good movie.
You're not wrong. Speaking of good things, the fun facts of the fucking week. We'll quick. We go quick.
Yeah.
What are you doing down here? The dog's coming in here. Leonardo DiCaprio called
dog.
his one-on-one scene with Jack
Dog,
Nicholson
dog.
one of the most memorable moments of my life.
Mm.
'Cause
Which
why
scene?
not?
But just
Just
all
his
of them?
one-on-one scenes with Jack.
Oh
Nicholson,
yeah, yeah.
which are tight.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The man's got it.
Oh, he
I don't
got
know
it.
what it is.
Tell me a movie that he's bad in,
I can't name one.
because there isn't.
Yeah.
He's just amazing in everything he does. Martin Scorsese. Martin Scorsese really wanted Scorsese really wanted Al Pacino for the role of Costello because he had never worked with Pacino before, but he turned it down. Jack Nicholson was Scorsese's second choice.
Interesting.
Very interesting. And then they all came together and worked on The Irishman.
And now I feel like though,
Do you think there's like drama behind being like the
second
preference?
pick, yeah.
yeah. I
oh,
bet
you
there
want to be
is.
second?
Fuck
I'll
yeah.
do it, but give me more money.
Yeah.
right. When
I
the-
do feel like those guys, those top dudes that have been around for the past like 45 years,
Probably
do deals like it.
Oh yeah, exactly. Hey, I'm gonna take this because he wants you first. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
pass on it for you. You know what I mean? Something like
Yeah.
that. They got to be like the old gentleman's club or something.
Just a couple dudes around tables,
right,
cigars.
right.
Yeah.
Smoking, playing poker. No, how do you say poker?
Polka.
polka,
polka.
polka,
Oh, we dancing?
Maybe.
polka.
When the film won the Oscar for Best Picture, Martin Scorsese said that he was surprised the film had won. Scorsese said that because this film is such a tough, nasty, and violent film, he never thought about the idea of awards while he was filming it.
Dope.
I mean, it is pretty violent and pretty like visceral and in your face.
Yeah. Well, when I was saying earlier, it's like Jack Nicholson has parts where it's like, holy fuck.
This
And
guy,
he's- yeah.
What is coming out of his mouth?
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
But I don't think this. You were talking about your favorite scene,
Mm-hmm.
and we're mentioning the end. I felt what makes this movie different from like a lot of those other really big movies is they like put their cards out at the very end, and they did it in the weirdest fashion where they shuffled off they killed off who you thought was like the main
Sure, yeah.
first, and
Yeah.
then the movie kept going, and the movie was so good it just kept you around, and then people just start. Yeah, it's crazy. Like
You-
the crescendo for like what a normal movie would be, it
Yeah.
did not necessarily follow that shit towards the end.
So back-to-back picks for Wally now have had endings that you did not see coming.
Oh, ooh, there is a theme, isn't there?
Oh. The Mist and then this, basically the same ending if you want to put it together with bullets through heads. You know.
Maybe even the same count.
I mean,
What's going
maybe,
on?
yeah,
Can
What's
we do
going
a bullet
on?
count here?
Right, exactly. So there's a thematic element here, but I mean, both of those movies definitely have a what the fuck, I didn't see this happening at all.
So good.
Yeah. Roughly half of the $90 million budget went to the actors' salaries.
That's
Of
that's what I
course.
said when we were talking about it. I was like, come on, it's just the salaries alone.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Think about those guys. Like
Alec Baldwin, I'll be in this movie for $10 million.
most of these guys
That
have
script
not.
has to be so good, by the way, to sell
Oh, right.
to a student.
These
like, to
guys. Oh
anybody.
yeah,
These
yeah,
guys.
Yeah.
It's fucking guys.
Because I feel like also most of these guys in this movie haven't been out of their prime
No.
in a long time.
If anything, they were couple of them reaching their prime for this movie. Yeah, the dog's just walking around.
Do you know there's
there.
probably just scripts being held?
Oh, there's
Like,
a lot
there's
of them.
guys
Like,
that are just
on
like
the back
holding on
waiting.
to it. Like, wait, yeah.
There's a lot of them. Trust me. There's
Yeah.
there's a bunch of movies that are like, yo, we're not making this until these people are ready, and
Oh,
they
yeah.
might not be ready for 4
yeah.
years.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah.
Fucking awesome.
Vera Farmiga met with real
Flamingo?
LAPD psychiatrists to prepare for her role. The psychiatrist read the script and told Farmiga that Madeline did pretty much everything wrong.
Yeah, yeah. I would
mean, yeah.
You don't
personalize.
walk out of your office and give a fucking patient what they want.
No. You also shouldn't let a patient who's talking about killing themselves walk out of your office.
Right. But he goes, I'm
Either.
not, imagine if that was a real threat. But it was.
But
And
that,
he also
but
did say
that's the
that,
only
so,
reason
yeah.
she
So it's
ran
like-
out though, is because she was like, "Fuck, what if it is?"
Right. Now, she did do the right thing saying, I'm not going to see you.
We should
professionally
we should
anymore.
put Steve in a therapy counseling session
Oh, jeez.
just to see how it ends
Just
up.
record
Like
it, See what
film it.
happens.
I'm curious.
Because like I already know what would happen in mine. I've
Steve would analyze it later.
Tried
most
that out.
likely.
It would
Did you
turn,
these like you two having a conversation is probably how it would end up.
I'm pretty sure what would happen is I would be the therapist at the end.
Like
For the
you're
therapist.
also in like you're at her desk. and
Right,
she's
exactly.
On the couch that you lay
We
down
have
on.
moved positions. Where's your pens? Right here? Okay, cool. So,
I'll
tell
pencil
me.
you in
No,
next Thursday.
right, exactly. I think I'm open. I mean,
She makes it all the way to her car and she's like, "Oh fuck."
Shit.
Anyways,
I'm still in the office taking fucking
Yeah.
phone calls. After Jack Nicholson joined the cast, his character was rewritten to give him a bigger part.
oh.
Also, it was originally made for Al Pacino, meaning Pacino's part was not as
I
big.
don't like that.
Hoo-yah. Sorry. Hoo-ah.
I mean, I get it, but I don't
What?
like it. I don't see it.
he had a lot of problems, but it's like hard to pin anything down
Right,
specifically.
right.
He's just a fucking wild card.
He's out there.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, he even says in the movie, like, I don't need the money. I don't need this. I just do it because I like it.
yeah, yeah. Wow.
All right.
Best answer he could probably given, to be honest.
You're
Well,
right.
then, because they even say it
I don't
to
see
him about
Pacino doing that.
the drugs and
No.
all that stuff. They're like, "What? What are you doing?
Right,
like,
right.
You don't need to do all this shit."
I just like it. Matt Damon decided his character should be impotent to counter Frank's macho personality.
Oh.
My dick don't work because he's so fucking manly.
He's got daddy issues.
Right. Makes sense. Final decision time. Out of 10, what would we rate this movie and would we recommend it to anyone? Walter?
Yeah, I'd recommend it to everybody. I give it a
Yeah.
9.
9 out of 10.
Yeah.
I don't even need it like explanation.
No. It's like almost perfect.
Probably 8.5.
8.5, 8.5.
Yeah.
Any explanation for that? Or you just
No,
8.5?
that just feels right.
feels right.
That's what came to mind.
I like that.
It
That's
felt
it.
right.
I'm gonna give this an
On
8.
the gut.
This is one of those watch every 10-year type movies where you want to forget most of it so you can rewatch it fresh and be hit with that ending like again in your face.
You wrote a
I do every time.
backup, and it was just funny because sometimes it does sound like it's red, and sometimes you do kind of just.
Sometimes I remember exactly what I say, but I wrote this yesterday.
This time
So
it sounds
yeah.
like because it sounds like you're reading a review.
I'm reading my own review.
Yeah, but you know what I mean.
yeah,
like
yeah.
like someone's explanation of the movie, someone
Sure.
else's explanation of the movie.
That was mine,
I know it was
but I wrote it
saying
in
the
third
way it
person.
came out of your mouth.
Steven thinks this movie. No, but seriously, like, I think I've seen this movie 3 times, and it's been a while in between each. I know how it ends, but it's one of those, like, I don't remember everything else. I remember him, Jack Nicholson being in the loader or whatever you want to
Mhm.
call it, the
Oh, yeah.
Whatever,
Sure.
where he dies, whatever you call it.
bucket,
Yeah, the
yeah.
bucket, sure. I remember that, but I don't remember how we get there, right?
Mhm.
And I don't remember all the intricacies between
I have it
everything.
memorized for the most part, minus
Sure.
the cop
Yeah.
dying on the couch.
Right. So
Clearly.
clearly,
I feel like I've seen it probably 5 or 6 times maybe.
sure. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm
But
just
same
saying
thing,
that,
like every few years.
yeah, I don't want to watch it all the fucking
yeah.
time. It's just a good digest and like, oh, fuck
I feel like
yeah.
it's too much to watch it
Sure.
all the time.
For you, right?
Yeah.
And this for both you guys. I don't mean to interrupt what you're saying,
You're good.
but I just I coined a term just now.
Oh, fuck.
It's called a back pocket movie.
Yeah.
And if you have a friend
Mm.
or just someone that hasn't seen it, it doesn't have to be a popular movie, but
Sure.
it's a back pocket. You're like, oh, Depart. You haven't seen Depart? You got to watch this back pocket movie.
Back
It could be like an earnest movie or anything like that.
Sure,
For
sure,
me,
sure.
this is a back pocket movie.
This is Wally's back pocket
Yeah, it's
movie.
a
Yeah.
back-
He's got a couple of them just
Yeah,
ready
yeah.
to go.
Yeah. Oh, you haven't seen the Depart? What the fuck?
What? You've never
Anyways,
seen Ernest Scared
finish.
Stupid? You need to fucking watch
Back
that.
pocket movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. Yeah, no. So 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10, 8.5 out of 10. So we're at 8.5 as an aggregate. I think that's a good score for fucking Departed.
8.5 was also the
IMDb.
IMDb.
There you go. Look, so we're right in the median. We're where the meat is.
Ew, we're like everybody else. Weird.
Whatever.
Never.
Whatever. Next week, it's my pick.
What are you doing, Steve?
Look, I thought long and hard about this. And I was going to change it halfway through this. Then I went back. Then I wanted to go to another movie. My brain's percolating all the time, right?
When this, I get
Stop
excited,
talking it up and just
but
tell me already.
also nervous. Like, when he-
You think I'm going to give you like something really bad?
or just something not bad, but like off the beaten path, just like out there.
No, he's not doing that.
This week, I'm going with something that everybody has seen numerous times and is a very good watch
Okay.
that I haven't seen in a bit, and I want to watch it again. I'm going to keep going just because she's so nervous right now. We've only done one of his movies on this podcast so far, and I find it very, very hard and weird that we haven't done more. Big Daddy.
I knew it was going to be Adam
Oh.
Sandler as soon as you said we've only done one of his movies, and I don't know why because we've done a shit ton of movies. I don't
Also,
know why.
okay, yeah,
but-
I got it. I want to do Kangaroo Song. I want to do his, old wrinkly balls. We're gonna get into
5-year
that.
plan.
Right? How's that 5-year plan working out for you? I'm excited. I'm excited. I haven't watched Big Daddy in a bit, and it came across. I was like, Adam Sandler. Let's do a Big Daddy. It's got to be Big Daddy. So next week, Big
I'll
Daddy.
say it again next
say
week. But I tell you, I watched this probably last year,
Mhm.
and watching it as an adult, I feel like is very different. Like I cried.
It's
Actually.
a sad
Yeah,
story for
it-
sure.
like-
It's you don't really. I'm with you. Like you don't understand. You don't really grasp the father-son thing. The disconnect on almost all three
sure.
Mhm.
sides. Sandler,
Yep.
whoever that other dude is. I always forget
No,
his name.
the
In
Stewart.
all of his movies
Jon
and the
Stewart.
kid.
I can wipe my own. Oh, when he's like, I can wipe my own ass
Yeah.
being dragged away, and he's like, I know you can, buddy. I was like, oh god, dagger.
CPS.
Hip hop.
Hip hop.
Damn, you give him all the easy
Hip
ones.
hop and us. Yeah, it's great. Next year's gonna be
Fish.
next week's gonna be fun. It's gonna be the three of us again, or maybe we might bring somebody else in. Josh is gonna miss next week as well. I'm sure as soon as I say
Fuck is he doing?
being busy with life.
Well, in his defense, that's the one he would be missing,
Right. So,
right? So
No.
well, it would have been this week. He
Would've
said
been
he was
this
gonna be
week.
out anyways because I
Oh.
think it's July 4th, isn't it?
It's July 3rd, Monday.
3rd.
But
Right. Yeah. Well, whatever. That's the.
maybe he's doing some shit.
Yeah. You out?
no. I'm,
Oh, okay.
wait,
July 3rd.
no. I'm here.
We'll figure it out.
It's the following
all good.
weekend.
The Big Daddy,
following
it's gonna be good. Maybe we'll have a refresh of the whole show by then. New intro, new look, new things. Might be fun. Okay. Thanks.
Ah!
Thanks for joining us. As always, I'm Steve. Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.